for chaos, wild events, extreme transformations, and making major sacrifices, especially if you have Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, or Libra placements for March 21st to April 12th, because we have eclipse season. This is because we have a Libra lunar eclipse on March 25th, and we also have a solar eclipse on April 8th. Also, be sure to subscribe to keep updated with important astrological updates. In this video, I'll explain how all 12 signs are individually affected by this eclipse and how everyone as a collective is affected by these eclipses. These eclipses are going to prompt, nudge, and push us towards making major improvements in our lives, especially in the Aries and Libra dominated parts of our charts. We've been having repeating eclipses in the signs of Aries and Libra since April 20th, 2023, and the last one that we will have will be the end of March 2025. So you can expect recurring themes and events to take place that you experienced during the Aries and Libra eclipses back in March and April, as well as October and November of 2023. So if there were wild, chaotic events or massive transformations around those times, there may be a repeat of those events if those chapters are still unfinished or they haven't been closed off. So many of you can expect a repeat of the same massive events that you experienced in the spring and fall of 2023. You may experience those events in March and April of this year. You may also experience them in November and October of this year. And the last time that you may experience some sort of transformation in those same events may be March and April of 2025. This is a time where feelings of discontent in your life are going to be magnified and they are going to arise, and you are going to be extremely aware of the changes that you need to make in your life. The universe is quite literally going to shove you towards creating the life that you want or aligning yourself with your higher purpose. And this is an excellent time to do that. This is a time where you may be resolving a lot of issues, past issues or current issues that you have in your life, learning lessons from resolving these issues and completely moving on from them. So that is why I say that these eclipses normally signify sacrifices or a major letting go of something, especially the lunar eclipse on March 25th, because lunar eclipses are essentially full moons on steroids. Full moons are all about letting go, releasing chapters of our lives, and because this lunar eclipse is going to be so intense, this will signify a major period of letting go so that you can step into your power and align yourself with the life that you want. Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra placements are going to be feeling this, but more particularly people with planets within 0 to 10 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra are going to be feeling this the most. This applies most towards your sun, moon, or rising sign, but can also apply to prominent Mars or Venus. So the Libra eclipse on March 25th is going to be about being diplomatic, creating fairness and equalness in your life, and perhaps being more fair and equal with those that you have relationships with. This eclipse on March 25th is going to be very focused on relationships for many of you. So around March 25th, many of you may find yourselves making negotiations, compromises in your relationships, sorting out issues in your romantic relationships, or even letting go of relationships that are not meant to be in your life. So the lunar eclipse on the 25th is all going to be about striking a balance when it comes to your romantic relationships or friendships that you may have, as Libra is all about your connections with other people. On the other hand, the eclipse on April 8th is going to be all about finding your independence and your power and being very authoritative and really going after what you want in life. And many of you may find yourselves becoming extremely emotional. In fact, emotions that you've been suppressing could bubble up to the surface, and you may be forced to confront them so that you can essentially let them out and move on. So a lot of you are going to be having a huge purge of emotional release. This will be extremely cathartic for many of you, but you can expect people to be acting a little bit wild, a bit unhinged, since everyone is going to be emotionally on edge. And you can also expect a lot of issues to arise on a worldwide scale. Not only will we see recurring events and themes arising in our personal lives from previous eclipse seasons in 2023, but we will see those events arising on a worldwide scale. For example, in the spring of 2023, the issue of TikTok being banned arose in the courts, and once again, we are seeing during the spring of 2024, people once again talking about a potential TikTok ban and that issue being brought up in the court system again. Also, these eclipses will lead to major revelations. You are going to find out major truths, especially in the weeks following the eclipses. So whatever you're feeling, whatever you think around the time after the eclipses are going to be extremely major, and they are going to point out major truths and major realizations that are essential. This is a time where for many of you sudden crises could arise, which may make you extremely aware of what you need to do differently in your life and what you need to do to resolve issues that you have in your life. For many of you, relationships could be challenged, they could be ended, or you could have strengthened bonds in your romantic relationships as you were able to get to the depths and the bottom of what's happening in your romance. Like I said, you'll have major revelations. emotions, and this will especially apply towards your love life. And this could lead to issues in your love life being blown up and even disproportionately blown out of proportion. But again, whatever happens, especially in your love life, is going to be extremely significant and ultimately beneficial for you in the long run. So even if you find out something negative about your relationship, this will lead to you taking the necessary steps towards either perhaps ending a relationship or facing and confronting challenges present in your relationship so that you can move past them. But once again, this could even strengthen the bond that you have with a romantic partner, as for some of you, there could be deeper bonding in your love life. So it really depends on the nature of your romantic relationship. If you have a healthy relationship, this will likely lead to you having a deeper connection with your partner. This is also a time where if you take a course of action or you have plans, those could really blossom and flourish as well, since eclipses signify major change. So for many of you, you may be making massive changes in your life, which will ultimately allow you to get a lot closer to your desired end goal. So for many of you, this will accelerate your growth rate towards success or accelerate your growth rate towards what you want in life. But again, you are going to have major enlightenment during eclipse season, and especially during the following weeks after eclipse season, which will allow you to find out how you need to balance out your emotions as well as what you need to do differently in life. And for some of you, you may realize that you have to make major changes to your plans, or you may have to completely strip away the framework or structure of your plans and create new plans that will ultimately allow you to achieve your goals much faster or in a better way or much more successfully. So these eclipses are really going to magnify issues in your life, or they will magnify plans that just aren't working out, and they will show you what you really need to do differently to attain the lifestyle that you've always wanted. And again, be aware of being overly confrontational or assertive, especially around the eclipse in Aries on April 8th, as Aries is a very dominant and fiery sign, and having such a volatile moon occurring in the sign of Aries, you can expect people to perhaps lash out, especially when they are finding their independence. So make sure that you aren't being unreasonable if you're confronting people. This could also be a time where something that you haven't thought about for a long time could bubble to the surface. For example, a plan or even a relationship for many of you, since we are also going to have Mercury retrograde beginning on April 1st. So once again, when it comes to your relationships, there could be past relationships that are being brought up. There could be exes possibly returning. So you may have a blast from the past, and something you haven't thought about for a while, again, could come to the surface that you have to deal with, and you may find yourself dealing with that. On the 25th, we have the eclipse trining Pluto. So many of you are going to have deep psychic perceptions, and you are really going to be feeling your emotions very deeply. And this will very much translate towards what's happening in your intimate relationships. And again, for many of you, your intimate relationships could really improve and go through a deep process in which you guys both have an awakening. Your interactions with other people around that time are going to be extremely dramatic, and you may find yourself really connecting on a deep level with people in your life, perhaps family members, close friends, again, an intimate partner, especially women. And this eclipse on the 25th will be really great for deep psychological analysis on yourself. The solar eclipse on April 8th is conjunct Mercury, which can lead to extremely strong emotional bonds, especially with women, family members, or again, an intimate partner. And this will also lead to very deep psychic perceptions, as well as a heightened intuition. You can definitely expect to have major mood swings around this time, especially if you have Aries placements. Now let's talk about how all 12 signs are affected by the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. Let's start with Aries risings. On March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 7th house of committed relationships and partnerships. So there may be major events occurring in your love life or in your business partnerships. And for many of you, you may be finding out the issues that you have in your relationships or business partnerships that need to be resolved. You may be ending connections if they're unhealthy. There could be wild events occurring in your love life. For example, you could have a fight, or you could even go on an exciting date. Or for some of you, you could have your relationship strengthened. So it really depends on the nature of your romantic relationship or business partnership. On April 8th, we have the solar eclipse in your sign. So many of you are going to be finding major independence. You will really be stepping into your power. You'll have a major glow up. You'll be making major changes to all areas of your life. So you are most significantly impacted by the solar eclipse since it is in your sign. So you can expect massive new beginnings, which will put you on the right trajectory towards the life that you want. And many of you will be sacrificing or letting go of things that are not meant to be in your life. You can expect to have a lot of emotional release as well. So many of you may be extremely emotional around this time, but you are also going going to be enhancing your physical appearance. So many of you are going to be a lot more attractive. You may be restyling your wardrobe, for example, and you are going to be the main character around this time. So you can expect heightened popularity. This is a time where you can get noticed, you can gain recognition for your work, or you may find that people are drawn to you. Taurus risings, the Libra eclipse on March 25th is going to be occurring in your 6th house of health and your workplace. So many of you could have some things arising when it comes to your relationships with your coworkers or your bosses. There could be major events taking place in the workplace. Many of you may be looking to change your job, for example, or you may get promoted, or you may be looking towards a new job. So again, you can expect some transformations when it comes to your work or your health. So many of you may be making major changes to the way in which you look after your health, the way in which you approach your diet, exercise regime, fitness, for example. You could be making major improvements to your health. On April 8th, we have the solar eclipse in your 12th house of mental health and deep psychological analysis, spirituality. So many of you are going to have very deep insights, and you are going to have major transformations in regard to your mental health. You could be purging out a lot of emotions as well. There could be a huge emotional release. You may be finding ways to look after your mental health. So there could be a new chapter in your mental health, and many of you are going to have a major spiritual awakening as well. You'll connect to your deeper spirituality. Gemini risings, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 5th house of creativity and romance, as well as children. So there could be things happening if you have children or children in your life. There could be major events with them, but for many of you, there could be major events occurring in your love life where there could be a huge release of a romantic relationship or a chapter in your romantic relationship, resolving issues in your love life, or there could be a strengthened bond between you and a romantic partner. It really depends on the nature of your romantic relationship. There could be a wild event taking place in your love life, but again, it depends on your personal relationship as well as other transits in your chart. And there could be major events taking place with your creative endeavors as well. So for many of you, you could be releasing a creative project into the world. You could be working on a creative project, and because eclipses are going to heighten everything that you do, you could be increasing the chances or the accelerated growth of your creative endeavor becoming a success. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse taking place in your 11th house of friendships, your highest aspirations and dreams. So many of you could be embarking on a new chapter towards your highest dreams and perhaps even most unrealistically seeming aspirations. For example, if you've always wanted to become a famous actress or a singer, that's an example of a high dream that may seem unrealistic. You may be approaching that, and if you're working towards that, or there may be a new chapter in creating these dreams and making them come to life, and you could be inching closer towards your dream life, or you could be making that dream life come to life. And there could be new beginnings when it comes to friendships, networking. So you may find yourself networking extensively with people or making new friends, or you could be hanging out with friends around this time. There could be events occurring with people that you were friends with. This would also be a really great time for you to boost your reputation, to gain more social awareness, to become more popular, essentially. Cancer risings, on the 25th of March, you will have a Libra lunar eclipse in your 4th house of family and home. So some of you could be thinking about relocation. You could be thinking about changing things in your home, for example, buying new decor or furniture. So there could be major things happening around your home, your living situation, or there could be major events taking place with your family members. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your 10th house of career and reputation. So there could be new things happening when it comes to your reputation and putting your name out there into the world, gaining more popularity or social recognition, or there could be major new beginnings when it comes to your career, massive events taking place with your career, or you making major changes so that you can inch closer to the career that you want, or having major realizations about what you need to do in order to attain the career that you want. Leo risings, on March 25th, we have a Libra eclipse in your 3rd house of communication and work projects. So many of you could be putting a lot of effort and energy into a work project or a creative project so that you can increase its chance of becoming successful. So you could be becoming closer towards a work project really taking off and becoming successful. And many of you may be inching up your productivity. You may be creating a better routine for yourself. Since your 3rd house also represents networking, there could be things or major events occurring when it comes to networking. You could be attending a social event, for example. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your Aries 9th house of education, travel, higher learning, gaining wisdom. So many of you could be gaining very valuable insights. You could be becoming a lot wiser. So you could be learning very valuable things, or you may be making major plans around travel for the year of 2024, or there could be major things happening when it comes to your educational pursuits. Virgo risings, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your second house of income and finances, so you could be making major money moves that will allow you to become wealthier. There could be major things happening with your financial situation. And this theme will continue around the eclipse on April 8th in your Aries 8th house, since your 8th house also represents finances, investments. So you may find yourself making major new moves when it comes to your business deals or your business ventures. You could be making major moves when it comes to investments, buying or selling property. So any sort of financial move or financial endeavor is going to be very highlighted during this time. And again, this could really increase and boost your wealth, and you may be making very great money moves, which will make you wealthier. Libra risings, on March 25th, you have a lunar eclipse in your sign. So this will be a huge release. You are going to be letting go of a major chapter in your life so that you can step into your power. You will be having a major glow up. Many of you may be enhancing your physical appearance. You are going to be the main character, so you may find that people gravitate towards you. You have a very strong magnetic pull. So you are really going to have a major transformation in many different areas of your life, and you are going to be gaining a lot of independence, and you are going to be gaining a lot of control over your life. But you could be extremely emotional around this time. Around this time, you may feel like you're losing control of your life, but in reality, you'll be gaining massive control over your life by going through an extensive transformation process. And on April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your 7th house of relationships and business partnerships. So there could be a massive new transformation or new beginning when it comes to your relationships or business partnerships. There could be major revelations about your romantic life, and many of you may be having deep insights or, again, major events happening with a romantic partner. Scorpio risings, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 12th house of mental health, escapism, addiction. So many of you could be breaking addictions, letting go of negative mental health patterns so that you can have a huge emotional release. You're going to be purging out a lot of emotions. You'll probably be extremely emotional around this time, and this will be a time where once you let go of those emotions, you can regain more control over your mental health and your peace of mind. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your 6th house of health and the workplace. So many of you could have major events occurring with your work colleagues, your bosses. You could be making major moves when it comes to your career. There could be major new beginnings in your career that are extremely transformational when it comes to the direction that your career is going to take. Some of you could even be advancing in the workplace if you've been doing very well in your career, and many of you may be making major new changes when it comes to the way in which you approach your health. For example, changing your diet, your fitness. Sagittarius risings, on March 25th, you are going to have a lunar eclipse in your 11th house of your higher dreams, aspirations, and your friendships. So there could be major events taking place when it comes to networking, your friendships. For example, you could be attending a social event, or you may be having very deep conversations or deep understandings with your friends. Many of you may be heightening your popularity or finding a way to become more or have more notoriety, more fame, for example. You may be making major moves towards your highest dreams and aspirations so that you can turn them into a reality. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your 5th house of relationships and creative endeavors. So many of you could be working towards or creating a new plan when it comes to your creative endeavors. You could have a burst of creative inspiration. A lot of creativity will be flowing through your brain, which will allow you to turn your creative endeavors into a success. You could be inching closer towards creative success. Also, many of you may have new things happening with your romantic relationships, a brand new important chapter opening up in your love life. For some of you, this could mean a new relationship. For others, this could mean major insights into your love life, just new chapters in general occurring in love if you have an active love life. And because your 5th house also represents your children, if you do have children or children in your life, there could be some things happening with these children. Capricorn risings, on March 25th, we have a Libra lunar eclipse in your 10th house of career. So you could be making major career moves. There could be major events taking place in your career. For example, there could be a huge workplace party, or if that's not the case, you could find yourself wanting to leave behind your old career. You could be making new career plans. You could be looking towards a new job. So again, expect major transformations or even a major letting go of something when it comes to your career. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your Aries 4th house of home and family. So for some of you, this could mean buying new furniture, new home decor. You could be thinking of relocating somewhere else, perhaps moving to a new city or buying a property, buying a new home, renting out a new place. So expect major transformations or new beginnings when it comes to your home. And there may be major events occurring with your family members as well. Aquarius risings, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 9th house of education, travel, wisdom. So you could be obtaining very valuable knowledge. You could be learning a lot of new things around this time that are very important and essential just for improving your knowledge of the world. And you could be making major plans when it comes to travel, or there could be major things happening when it comes to your educational pursuits. On April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in your Aries third house of communication, work, projects, productivity. So you could be improving your routine, making major changes, or having a new beginning when it comes to your routine. You could be extremely productive around this time, or you could be upping your productivity levels. You could be working on a new work project or a new creative project, which once released into the world could gain major traction and success. And many of you may be networking extensively around this time. For example, you could attend a social event, you could be meeting new people, making new friends, forming very important social connections. Pisces risings, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in your 8th house of finances, investments. So you could be making major money moves, which could lead to an increase in your wealth. Some of you could be paying off a major debt, for example, paying off your bills. Some of you could have major events happening with your joint finances, again, investing. So expect major things to happen when it comes to money, or having a major release when it comes to your finances, and this could also increase your wealth. This theme will continue going into the solar eclipse on April 8th, as we have an eclipse in your Aries second house of finances, income. So some of you could be finding a new stream of income. For example, you could be starting a new business, or you could be making a lot of plans when it comes to new streams of income, for example, a business venture. Many of you will be making major money moves, so you could be finding new ways to increase your wealth around this time. You could be having really great, intelligent financial plans.